Hey lovelies! As everyone is getting set to go back to school or back to work or just back to reality after a glorious summer, I know that meal prep is on everyone's mind. And I know that because you guys are always asking me for more great meal prep ideas. As always, your wish is my command. And today's ideas are all vegetarian ideas. So whether you are a full-fledged vegetarian, a flexitarian, or a card-carrying carnivore who just wants to eat a little less meat, I've got 3 delicious ways to make your lunch more interesting, starting with this amazing curried cauliflower and sweet potato meal prep box. As the name suggests, this recipe all starts with a whole lot of cauliflower. So I've got a full head that I just cut into florets. And to that, I am going to add some sweet potato. Technically, you can totally leave the skin on your sweet potato. It is fine to eat. So if you want to save yourself a step, go ahead and do that. I'm gonna add a little avocado oil, which lately has just become my oil of choice. Any flavorless oil will do in this recipe. And then I'm gonna add some really wonderful Indian spices. So I've got some garam masala headed in here, and I've also got some ground turmeric. Finally, we'll go ahead and season this up liberally with some salt and some pepper and give it all a good toss until everything is well coated in that seasoning. Then I'll just pour this on to a baking sheet, spread it into an even layer, and get it into the oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for say between 25 and 30 minutes. Now I just wanna make a quick public service announcement about this recipe. I actually did this on a pan that was not lined with parchment or with tin foil before getting it into the oven. And look at what the turmeric did to my pan. It basically stained my baking sheet. So, word to the wise, you'll wanna make sure you line your pan with parchment or with tin foil because turmeric has the tendency to stain whatever it touches. Once your cauliflower and sweet potatoes have cooled, your final step is going to be stirring in some green peas, and we're also going to add some cilantro to this. It's really nice with all of this warm, toasty cauliflower and sweet potato to add something a little fresher and a little greener for contrast. Speaking of freshness, I wanted to mix up a dip that's a bit cooler and creamier, and I'm gonna do that with a really tasty mint raita. If you're not familiar with raita, it is a yogurt-based dip that sort of cools everything down if you have these nice warm Indian spices. It all starts with some plain yogurt in my bowl, and to that I'm going to add 1 cucumber that I've basically just shredded up using a grater and then used a kitchen towel to wring all the excess moisture out. You wanna make sure to drain all that excess liquid so that you don't end up with a really liquidy dip. Then I'm going to add a little bit of fresh mint to this. I've seen this done with mint. I've also seen this done with coriander or cilantro. You can do it with a combination if you want to. I'm using straight up mint today. And then I've got a little sprinkle of cumin headed in here and a little bit of grated garlic as well. A little salt, little pepper, give that a mix up, and this stuff is ready to be enjoyed. I'm gonna finish this meal prep box with these adorable little mini naan breads that I found at my supermarket. And there you have it, guys. Lunch is served. This is the perfect option for Meatless Monday. Next, guys, I am whipping up a little more of a Mediterranean-inspired offering, and it all starts with some delicious cooked couscous. I don't traditionally use a ton of couscous in my cooking, so I'm trying to expand my horizons a little. For those of you who don't know, couscous is actually pasta. It's just in very, very small bits. So if you're looking for something gluten-free, then rice or quinoa might be a better bet. What's really important if you're meal prepping any kind of pasta is tossing it with some oil once it's cooked. The reason we do this is because otherwise it is going to stick together. I'm also going to add some fresh parsley to my couscous as well as some grated garlic. A little salt, little pepper, give that a mix up, and then I'll get that into my meal prep box. With our couscous, we're going to be serving up an amazing protein-packed, crunchy, colorful, Mediterranean-inspired salad. It all starts with some canned chickpeas that have been rinsed and drained. To that, I'm going to add some nice crunchy cucumber. I've got some cherry tomatoes. I've cut them in half. I'm mixing in some orange bell pepper, and I've got some nicely chopped red onion as well. The red onion is always optional in a dish like this, so use it as generously or as sparingly as you like. And then for my dressing, I'll just toss these in a little white wine vinegar, olive oil, and some salt and pepper. Once that's all mixed up, you can pile that into your meal prep box. And then I like to finish these boxes off with a couple cubes of delicious salty feta cheese for balance. If you wanted to keep this box vegan though, you can skip the feta cheese altogether. definitely up to you. I love this box because not only is it loaded with nutrition, but it's got great color and texture as well. Not to mention the fact that it tastes really, really good. Finally, guys, for all you veggie lovers out there, I have got my lean green meal prep box. This one is totally up my alley because it involves a ton of amazing steamed veggies, accompanied by one of the most delicious salad dressings you can find. It is my green goddess dressing, and today we're actually going to be making a vegetarian version that is super, super tasty. This one starts with some plain Greek yogurt. We're gonna get that into a blender or a food processor. You really want to do this in a blender or food processor so you don't have to worry about really finely chopping your herbs. To that, I'm adding some green onion as well as some fresh parsley and tarragon. If you can't find tarragon, sometimes it's a bit tricky to find at your supermarket. You can swap in some basil instead. Both are great options. To balance all of that freshness, we also want to create a bit of an umami flavor. And traditionally, the thing that does that in a green goddess dressing is anchovy paste. Since we're keeping this version vegetarian though, I'm actually going to do that with some white miso paste instead. And trust me, it's going to be delicious. I'll finish this off with a little mustard, half a clove of garlic, some lemon zest and juice, and some salt and pepper, and then give it a whirl. The color on this dressing is amazing. And the smell is even better. Definitely, definitely a winner. You're gonna wanna pour this on everything. Now, of course, a dressing this amazing could really be served on any kind of leafy green, but I really like the idea of heartier vegetables in my lunch. So today, instead of traditional greens, I'm using a combination of steamed veggies like broccoli, asparagus, and green beans. And then for a hit of protein and even more green goodness, I'm going to be adding some shelled edamame to this as well. We should all be getting more greens, and you can basically get them all in one shot using this method. I'll give those veggies a quick toss, pile them into my meal prep box, and then serve them up with the side of that dressing. Then for a little added protein, I am going to finish this box off with a nice soft boiled egg. This yummy meal prep is sure to make all your coworkers just green with envy. Guys, I hope you'll give all 3 of these yummy meal preps a try. If you do, be sure to tweet me, Instagram me, or Facebook me a photo, because you know how much I love seeing your kitchen creations. Remember, all of these yummy recipes are linked in the description box below. And finally, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because there is lots more meal prep deliciousness where this came from.